Hello everybody and welcome to a new RPG example video. In this video, I'd like to continue talking about how to communicate with a REST server from our RPG programs. In this case, I will give you an example of how to do it without using SQL. So let's go. As always, I'm starting the video using VSCode with the Code for IBMi extension. That is the tool I use for developing in RPG. Well, as I told you before, I'm going to show you how to connect and how to communicate with a REST server in a very easy way only using RPG. But in this case, I'm going to use the HTTPAPI. This is an open source project from Scott Klement, so you can download it from his website and install it in your IBMi. As you will see, I'm using it from the AS400 IBMi, so it is installed there too, and that's great for making tests. Okay, let me show you the source of the program that I have made for the example. Okay, first of all, I have to say that I'm using a fake REST server that I found to make these tests. As always, this is a simple example, and of course, this can be improved or can be changed to make it work better. If you have other ways for doing this, please let me know in the comments. We are all here to learn. Well, the first thing I want you to see is the options line. There I have added the binding directory of the HTTP API. If I don't do it, the example will not compile. Also, as you see here, I have compiled the prototypes of the HTTP API functions. In this example, I'm going to make a get, a post, and a put. In the three cases, I use the same HTTP API function, HTTP request. This one. The function returns a value that will be negative number if there's some kind of error in the execution of the request. The first parameter, this one, is the request you want to do. As you see, in this case is a get. After that, I have to write the URL. Then I have two other parameters for the result of the request. The first is used if you want the function to store the result into a file in the IFS. Then you will need to write something like this. For example, okay? In my case, as I want the result to be stored in a field, I put here omit. And I write the name of the field in the next parameter. The next two parameters are for the message. The first is if I have the message to be sent into a file in the IFS in the same way as I did here. And the second, if I have it into a field. As in the previous parameters, I have to write omit in the option that I'm not going to use. And I have a last parameter that is for writing the content type. In this case, I'm going to use a JSON with UTF-8 character set. Okay, so making a get is as simple as this. And how about making a post? Well, what is really good using this function is that a post is the same as making a get. The only thing that changes is the message and the URL, and of course the request. As you see, it is completely the same. I don't have to say that making a put is also the same. Well, let me compile it. And let me test it in the green screen. Okay, first of all, I have to add the library where the HTTP API service program is. In this case, is this one. Okay, now let me run the program. Okay, And now let's see the job log. As you can see, the connection has been done and it seems to run okay. This is the 3 requests that I have made, the information that I'm receiving from the server. Okay. But I have a question. What if I need to see the information that I have sent and the information that I have received and all the protocols used, the certificate, everything? Is it possible? Of course, yes. And that is the best of using this API. Let's go to the source. There's a way for storing a log of the communications made in the program, and it is done with this function, HTTP debug. Let me write this. As you can see, I have right here the place where I want the HTTP API to create a file where the log of the communications is created. Okay. Later, after the execution, we will see the content of the file. But there's other things that I want to ask. What if I need to add a header to my request? Is there any way for doing it? Of course, yes. The way for doing it is, first of all, creating a procedure in this way. Let me write it. Oops. Okay. Well, in the header parameter, I have to add the information that I want to send in the header of the request. This must be separated by this character. Okay. Also, I have to use the function HTTP exproc to make HTTP API know that it has to use this procedure to add the header. How can I do it? Okay, this way. For example, here, adding an example header. Well, let's write it here. And I have to put the procedure address. Okay. Also, I recommend to add this the same after the request, but with the parameter null to remove it. Okay. If not, and I make another request after it, HTTP API will use the same header. So take care of it. Okay. After adding HTTP exproc and HTTP debug, let me compile the program. Oh, let me remove all these spaces. Okay, and let me compile it. Okay, and now let me run it from the green screen. Okay. As before, I have the result here. And now let's see the content of the log file that has been created. I can see it here in the IFS browser, home, and the file was this one. And as you see, if I open it, there's a lot of information here that you can use to debug your programs, to improve them, and to find errors. If you see, this is the version that I'm using of the HTTP API, the information about the DNS, well, everything, okay? Also, this is, if you see, the three operations that I have made can be seen, okay? And the information that I'm receiving, the information that I'm sending, everything, okay? Also, if you see here, you can see the header that I have created to send for the put in this case, okay? Okay, so as you have seen, this is a very good way for making our requests to a REST server only using RPG. Of course, you can choose between this option or the SQL option that is more simple. Every option has something better than the other. In this case, the debug function and the exproc function are great to control the communications between our program and the REST server. And for getting more information about the communication, there are more functions that can be used in the API. I hope you liked this video. If so, please give a like to it and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching.